And I would imagine that we're actually, yeah, going to be fairly... Oh, shoot. Okay, mistakes were made. What's my best way of dealing with you, kiddos? First and foremost this, and then unfortunately the rad roaches. I wanted one of them next to me. But, hey, it is what it is. Oh my gosh, you kids are that evil? You're susceptible to be turned into salt? I thought that was something reserved for only the most foul of demon kind. Well, not that I will at all complain in the face of such mechanical generosity from the game. Love to see it. And let's hope that the rest of the crew that we've gathered the attention of aren't too bad to deal with. Fantastic. So just a wee bit left of the top area to explore here, and then we'll be ready to dive into those good old lungs and see just how many orbs of fire we can get this time around. So I feel like that's one of our fairly recent runs down here as well. I cannot recall. It's definitely not the last one. I think it was one of our victories, actually, that we got the, 11 orbs of fire all showing up. And in fact, just the knowledge that we didn't run into any orbs of fire out here, and in fact, the hit dice average was a bit on the low side, a lot of draconians, does give me some concern as to what our lungs vaults are going to look like here. But let's not worry too much. At the very least, once again, we are a much more defensively minded character than usual. So, you know, those orb guardians, which can sometimes at least be a pain in our rear, aren't going to be so much of an issue for good old Petra here. Fantastic stuff. I'm not even using my recite, which, again, why not? I should be reciting all the time. There's like a little bit of min-maxing you can do there. Just because if you know you can deal with the enemies around you, you don't know if, like, 7 turns from now, something truly terrifying is going to walk around the corner. So that's after your reciting is done, and you're still on cooldown and can't begin the recital again. So maybe there's, like, some mechanical advantage to not always using it when it's at your disposal. But, let's be honest with ourselves. I am not, I don't know, consistent and solid enough of a player for that to be that much of a factor. I do have to start reciting now, because as soon as I kill this buddy, the invisible Lich is going to be a pain. Okay. Let's slow down for a moment here. What do I wish to do with these kiddos? So this is somewhere where recite did actually kind of burn itself out slightly earlier than we would have liked. At the very least, though, let's make our way to a corridor here. Who's summoning all of these? Okay, 2 of the 3 scary ones is the son of a gun right in front of me. So, oh my freaking lord. Can we stop with all this invisibility shenanigans? I don't even know. I don't think things can one-shot me here. How confident am I in that opinion, though? I ask myself. Not very. Let's keep blasting these kids with lightning, or that's apparently doing nothing. Acid? Who summoned you, though? Oh no, that's a lot of torment, damnation, and all sorts of silliness that could come our way. Again, it's just a question of, can I die in 1 turn? I don't know for sure. I think this is an ancient Lich. These 2 are the summoners. If that's the right order. Maybe ancient liches are the summoners. But blue robes, red robes, for clarity's sake. So blue robe can definitely Lahudib's Crystal Spear, which we already reflected 1. And I think That could technically hit us like a truck. Shouldn't be able to kill us with 57 armor class. That would be a pretty crazy set of rolls on both sides to do so. And like a butterfly or something along those lines doesn't really help. I don't want the summons near me. I just want to murder these sons of guns. I mean, even with lightning resistance, it's at least undodgeable, right? Not that that's apparently gonna do us much good here today. Okie dokie. So what else? What else? What's this? What's this? I don't think Vitalization has a role to play at the moment. Can always Sanctuary to get out of here. That's why I keep asking myself, by the way, this question of can I die in one turn? As long as the answer is no, Sanctuary can still be deployed. Maybe what we'll do, and it sucks because if we have to retreat, this is going to be a huge waste. But if we don't retreat, this could be the difference between murdering these sons of guns and not. And I'm actually curious if that's better than, like, should I just Silver Javelin their ass? Don't know the odds of hitting these invisible sons of guns. Probably not as good as I would like. Okay, one of them survived. Any see invisible? I don't think we have any on me. Oh, Revelation is see invisible. I have more of those than I need. Oh, there are multiple liches. Hello. Okay, well. Yeah, those crystal spears. I mean, it's going to be rough. This is probably a retreat and heal up, if I ever saw one. And in fact, I'm going to play it safe. I almost attacked someone by accident. If I step out of here and attack, that's fine, right? That's legal? I guess I also could have just read silence and seen how that did. Well, it's just you and me, my Lich friend. I think I kill you. Okay. Zone is shrinking. And our annoying friends are still coming this way, but can't hit what you can't see. Oh, I got rid of all my exclusions. This was bad stare, right? That would have been quite the way for this run to come crashing down around us, so I'm glad that A, it wasn't really a factor in the end. We were on the correct stairwell, but B, we had the wherewithal to actually realize the potential impending doom. Definitely recite against you kiddos. I wonder if the recite actually doesn't work against invisible enemies. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, gotta kill the summoner and get rid of our giant bulwark of a damnation slinging son of a gun. Beautiful. Man, do I have to use another immediate revelation scroll? I mean, I guess there's no real use for them. Whoa. Wait. Why did that see invisible not last for longer than a turn? Did I get Quicksilvered or something? Couldn't tell you to save my life, but regardless, I mean, how close to dead do we think this son of a gun is? I don't even know what's doing the majority of the smashing out there, but at the very least, I think we're fine for a couple turns to just start slinging javelins. And in fact, okay, no, we do have one more silver javelin. Hopefully kills the thumb. Oh, and the summoner. Oh, you spoil me, DCSS. With rolls like that, you spoil me. Okay, Golem, can you just chill, man? Just come to me. Don't even deal that much damage. You're just annoying. The worst kind of enemy you can face. One that's not going to kill you, but will make you want to end it all. Okie dokie. Well, with those kiddos out of the way, you know, there was a glaring hole in our experience here. We knew an Orb of Fire had to come at some point. In fact, I should probably just fight this son of a gun, right? We did pretty well against them last time. Turns out a +9 Morningstar just hits a bit different. How? Zin is not a guaranteed protection. Unless, is it when you're at max piety? Is it not like the 66% chance to resist and it instead scales off of piety? Could be. I guess we'll never know. The world isn't ready for that knowledge yet. You know what? I'm just gonna pop around a corner up here. My toe friend makes it, they make it. If not, well, I guess our relationship was never meant to be. We shall pass like ships in the night. And though I will think back fondly on our short time together, it was not meant to be, unfortunately. Hello? Where is everyone? Sirs? Please come right this way. There we go. That's a bit more expected results. Okay, well, so far, and I say this knowing full well the dramatic irony that I'm potentially putting into motion at this very moment in time. But this was a shockingly easy Zot. I mean, I guess the Liches were kind of a crap show. But even then, like, most characters I have seen visible at this point, and I kill those sons of guns pretty dang quickly. I just happen to be kind of slow playing it and not playing to the fullest of our abilities. You know, reading the revelation earlier, fortunately we had Eric prompt us in the chat, otherwise I would have been lost for the rest of my life, potentially. Who knows, might have even died on Petra. But more so than that, we could have thrown, like, silence into the mix and just annihilated all those spellcasters. And so with that in mind, it feels easy. I guess they're technically on a similar threat level to, you know, your Orbs of Fire and whatnot, but that technically is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that statement, because they are nowhere near as, I don't know, all-encompassing in terms of my mental state as Orbs of Fire are. There's nothing that lives quite as rent-free in my mind as, an Orb of Fire. Oh gosh, okay, all those sons of guns are somewhere throughout the level. Yikes, yikes. Okay, I have 5 teleport scrolls. We at least read 1. I'm only going to wait 2 turns this time, which is a lot shorter than usual, just because we have this teleport trap here. Then let's see which... Does my teleport trigger? It has not triggered yet. This is why we had that emergency teleport on the back burner. Perfect. Well, it's that easy, folks. Just have, like 7 consecutive teleports lined up and you'll get out without a care in the world. I honestly don't understand why people even think this game is hard. Just do that every time without fail, right? This is somewhere where it's tempting to blow through some walls. Yeah, we'll be fine. You just have to believe hard enough, and sometimes the universe will send everything advantageous your way. Of course, the opposite is also true, and sometimes the universe will decide to stick it up yours, but these are risks we are willing to take. And away we go for what has so far been an uneventful ascent here. Would not mind that continue to be the case because we're long overdue for a win. You know what? I'll kill you. In fact, Panlord, anyone? Okay. I was saying that I was happy with that, and I didn't want any complicating factors because we need a win. But, not even a little bit DCSS? Is it just that, like, foregone conclusion type thing? You know, this character was pretty solid across the board the whole time, and so there wasn't that much leverage that the game could even operate under to give us difficulties in our time of need here. I guess regardless, let's not look this gift horse too closely in the mouth, lest we get a bit of a chomp. Which is that where that expression comes from? Or is it just the connotation of it being rude to the gift giver? There's probably some kind of chomping action. Well, let's go through. For no reason whatsoever, we will chug anything and everything comes our way. Might as well be invisible while we're at it. And... oh, right. Zin cleanses my mutation potions. Okay, well, can you do our other kind of side quest of quickly seeing just how many mutations we can get going? I'm glad that Zin didn't, like, excommunicate me for that. It was an accident, I promise. I know it was ID'd and everything, but you gotta tell me, game. So thank you. Thank you, Zin. And in fact, thank you for everything, Zin. Overall, you know, we joked a little bit about it throughout the course of the 2 streams that made up this run, but Zin, really solid, actually. I wasn't even using Recite that much for the first half of this run, which maybe is fairly appropriate given the fact that you won't have much invocation at that time. So, you know, what good is it doing? There are also a lot less demons coming your way and, like, you know, explicitly evil enemies, but still pretty solid. Vitalization, I could imagine being much more useful and powerful on a non-gargoyle. Such is the way it is. I think in prison we only used 1 time, but that 1 time was pretty solid though. That was Rupert. The first time we ran into Rupert, we had almost no willpower, so we were in danger of getting like a paralyze cascaded into a berserk rage, crushing our skull in type scenario. So really solid. And then of course kind of the MVP of this run, Sanctuary, man. Holy moly. For whatever reason, I think in my head, I thought it was just a, like, defensive zone where nothing attacks. That's it. But when you add in the fact that enemies try to leave the zone, it gets way stronger. Because suddenly, it's a scroll of butterflies, but it's also combined with invulnerability. Like, that's crazy. You can't do that. At least with Scrolls of Butterflies, I have that moment of doubt where I realize the enemy has a bolt spell, and I'm still very much at risk of losing my life. But, no such thing. Of course, the piety cost is pretty huge. I think at one point we spammed this a few times in a row and got knocked down to like 3 stars. But since then, been smooth sailing. I mean, we didn't even, contrary to how it often goes for us, we didn't get hard carried by early artifacts. I put in some clarifiers there because we did get Scroll of Acquirement into our first ring, which was solid. You know, not exactly life-changing, but really solid. And, I mean, given by the fact that we wore it the entirety of the run. But beyond that, like, Amulet of the 4 Winds came quite a bit later into the run. However, still deserves an honorable mention for being potentially a core factor in our win. We were desperate for willpower, so that was huge. But everything else kind of sweat off our own backs. I mean, again, these do add up. But as they just kind of were drip fed to us, and especially like this, we didn't really need... Well, maybe there was involuntary movement that I didn't notice in the final section of the game, but... Regardless, all that to say, Zin, very solid. Actually enjoyed that surprisingly much, and I think I might work Zin into my rotation a bit more often if I ever go back to casually playing the game instead of this series. But regardless of all that, really solid run. Let's get out of here in one piece before I talk myself to death. Starvation, well, food was removed from the game. Still may be a factor if I never shut up, so keeping that in mind. Let's get out of there And well done, Petra. We are also 99% of the way to level 27, which is fun. Top 20. This didn't feel like a top 20 run, but I guess it was relatively fast. I think that's a big design factor in my runs, because otherwise I'm fairly consistent in like how much of the dungeon I clear. These are all 3 ruiners as well, obviously. The majority of these, I believe, are from our Great Player series even. Regardless, with that, we say goodbye to Petra, the Bringer of Law. I should have checked. I don't know if we ended up maxing invocations. We're going a bit fast and loose at the end there with skill training, but Bringer of Law does sound like a max level invo title for a Zin follower. So until proven otherwise, of which I will do no effort or work to do, I'm just going to believe with my heart, believe in my heart of hearts that we max that out. But yeah, that was a really fun one. Did enjoy that. This is where we're going to end for the evening, of course. Actually went longer than I thought it would based on how I was feeling at the start of the stream here today. Headache didn't really go away, but at least maintained a certain level of annoyance and frustration without getting too much worse. So hopefully that continues for the rest of the evening here. The one thing I am doing right now is getting way too warm. Holy cow. I'm starting to sweat something fierce here. So good time to end the stream. Of course, huge appreciation to all you lovely folks for joining us along the journey for Petra and the other runs here in the past. You know, whether that be chatting alongside us here, if you're lurking in the background, viewer after my own heart, or hey, if you're watching this down the road through the VODs on Twitch or YouTube, then thank you so much for joining us on the journey. I hope it was an enjoyable run here, if a little vanilla. But, you know, every once in a while, it's good to throw those in there, especially with some of the good gods that are already feeling kind of vanilla in their own right. I mean, have a bit of spark of excitement in your life, a bit of danger. Worship Luganu. Hell yeah, brother. But yes, thank you all for joining us. And we'll be back potentially next week. There's a small chance that I'll miss next week. And this is the rare occurrence where I can know ahead of time. Again, it's a miracle if I remember anything to do with dates, times, anything like that. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime situation going on. But we'll see how that goes. Either I'll see you next week when we jump back in with a new run. I'm thinking maybe Mountain Dwarf of either Sif or Yered. That's kind of what currently has piqued my interest. We'll see what comes to pass as we eventually get back into it, and if that's not next week, then it will be sometime in the future. I, of course, hope everyone has a fantastic end to the year here. You know, if you celebrate any holiday that is taking place over the next week here, then I hope that that's good as well. And yeah, I guess that's that. In fact, speaking of my lacking knowledge on dates, are we in the new year yet? Next Sunday? Ooh, not quite. Not quite. So I will see you this year. Here I was going to say see you next year, but maybe. I don't know what I'm doing. But regardless of all of that and my dysfunctional brain abilities here today, which, again, if you know me, that's pretty incredible that it can get worse than it usually is. Truly a feat for the ages. I think I deserve some kind of Guinness record for just how dysfunctional my mind can get sometimes. Regardless, let's do a check. I keep saying regardless. It's like I'm fainting out. It sounds like I'm gonna do my sign off, but not yet. Gotcha. Let's do a quick check to see who's live at the moment, if we can send a raid off today. Give me just but a moment to get this stuff set up. And yeah, thanks Eric. See you next time as well. Yeah, looks like Brinth is currently on, so let's send a raid off that way. Currently playing Visions of Mana, which I'm not familiar with, but always a good time. As always, I mean, if you hang out here a lot, you probably already know Brinth, but if you haven't, then definitely stick around, say hello. Always a good time over that way. And let's get that queued up here. Yes. perfect. And okie dokie, now for real. Not a fake out this time. Regardless of my many fake outs, though, I do hope that you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you out there, and I definitely hope to see you next time, whether that be next week or next year, as we jump in with, yeah, potentially heavy armor spellcaster again. But let me know if you have any suggestions. We'll play it by ear when it comes. Just remember, folks, we never, even for a moment, even in some touch and go calls down in Zot, never didn't have it. I'll see you soon.